facade, a mansion with no soul. Behind closed doors saw the mess they control. Elrond's legacy built on broken dreams, but Nora's here, tearing apart at the seams. Raised in the code, found truth on the screen. Therapy sessions where the pain's unseen. Healing from the past with stories that sting. Oh, no more, I live that freedom ring.
Whoa! This picture's totally off. Guys, here's the deal. As you guys can see from the big reveal here, welcome back to the garage that's under construction. It's under construction. Let's fix me in the shot. How are we? How are we? How are we? Welcome back. Welcome back to Razed in Scientology. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I'm always flattered by all that applause. Sorry to be running a little late. I was running errands. I literally just ran into my house from the car. Traffic is crazy doodles right now because of the rain that we're having here. So as you can see behind me, this is now a new wall. My shelves are not back up because I bought this fun wallpaper, but I didn't buy enough. So there's like about almost a 2.5 foot space where yeah, I gotta wait till tomorrow till the wallpaper comes in, and then I'm gonna put the shelves back up. We're gonna rearrange some stuff. And yeah. I have officially gotten an hot dog lamp. I'm very much excited about that. Yeah, so it'll be yeah, it'll be a slightly different look. The wood paneling will no be there. So yeah, we'll just have this nice blank canvas here behind us. And I'm excited. I'm excited. All right. So guys, what are we talking? The garage is looking great. Thank you. It's gray. It is fun. Gray can be fun. Bo, gray can be fun. All right. So here's the well, you guys have been active already. I've not even gotten on yet, and you guys already have 116 comments in here. If you guys haven't liked the stream yet or subscribed yet, please do. That does help me and the algorithms out a lot. What? Why does it want me to go that way? I don't know. I will just adjust myself this way. There we go. Now I'm in the center. I feel better now. What does that mean though for my sharesies? Oh, look at me. I'm just a little head. Hi, I'm just a little head. Let me fix that. Okay. So this is where we're starting out today. It's fine for me to do sharesies. What is my close-up? Uh-oh, hot dog can't. Now I'm just eyeballs. Now it's me talking to my mom on FaceTime. This is a boomer FaceTime cam. It's my mom face. Can you help me? I can't, I can't find the setting. That's what I look like when I'm talking to my mom, and she has, it's the garage as well. Yes. You like the gray? I'm glad you like the gray. This is a grass, it's got a texture to it. So it's very tactile for me to pet. But it's like a grass, like the old timey kind of grass weave to it. So I like it. It's a good texture. I didn't want to put too much color behind me because I'm going to put the shelves back up with the lights and everything. So, it kind of looks like a cubicle. Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. But that's okay. That's okay. That's how your mom looks on FaceTime too. I think that's just a mom thing. They're busy looking at you. They're not looking at themselves in a little tiny window, so they don't know. It's all good. My mom's adorbs. All right, here we go. Now, today, as you guys can see, I have many, many tabs open. We're going to be going over some stuff. First, from Mr. Tony Ortega. This is from today. This is today's article from Tony at the Underground Bunker at his Substack. So if you guys aren't subscribed to Tony Ortega, give him a subscribe there on Substack. These are the kind of articles where I appreciate Tony's input, okay? Because we're getting a lot of quotes and a lot of information. And this is going to go in a big circle, guys, okay? I'm just going to let you know that. We're going to take a circular ride. And yes, Aaron Smith-Levin will be discussed only because he's pertinent to this situation. I'm just saying that up front. Please, everyone. Oh, no. Well, there went that. Okay. So here we go. Okay. So Danny Masterson jurors complain of contact by defense team, and the DA wants hearing for sanctions. What? Okay, let's dive into this. The underground bunker has learned that Judge Charlene Olmedo, that's the judge in Danny Masterson's case, and the LA District Attorney's Office are both concerned about repeated, not just one, repeated contacts of the jurors in Danny Masterson's second trial by members of Masterson's legal team. Okay. Masterson was convicted of 2 counts of forcible rape on May 31st, 2023. And at that time, Judge Olmedo issued a ruling sealing all information about the jurors. Sealed, like not public, like no one should know their name, address, workplace, or anything. Who had unanimously agreed on the 2 counts, but were unable to come to a verdict on the 3rd count. Masterson was sentenced more than 3 months later on September 7th for 30 years to life in prison. But even before the sentencing date occurred on July 5th, this is while Danny was in jail and the case was over. Okay. One juror wrote to the court that she had been contacted by the defense attorney, Sean Hawley. She expressed confusion about whether she could talk to Holly, and she didn't understand how Holly had figured out who she was. This is from the juror. I was wondering, how did she know my name and workplace information in order to get in contact with me? More recently, on July 22nd, okay, of this year, the court received an email from another juror. So this is now 2 jurors. Some of the jurors have been visited at their homes by Danny Masterson's appeal team. This one juror is telling about all this other things. We thought our information was going to be sealed, the email said, adding, we are concerned. This is all the jurors are now talking. Okay. Then on September 16th, Olmedo was sent a longer email explaining one troubling contact in particular. Okay. Good morning, Judge Olmedo. My name is redacted. I was the alternate juror number 8 on the second Danny Masterson trial. Not even on the actual sitting in the courtroom. This was an alternate juror who had to be present during the trial just in case one of the jurors was dismissed so that they could be, bumped in there, right? Okay. I was an alternate juror number 8 on the second Danny Masterson trial at 2 p.m. Sunday, September 15th. Okay, this is just a couple months ago. I was contacted at my home by a representative of Danny Masterson's legal team. I was doing yard work in my front yard when a car pulled up, parked, and a woman got out and approached me. She asked if I was so-and-so. She said she's a member of Mr. Masterson's habeas team and wanted to ask me some questions about incidents regarding parking and in the hallway in front of the courtroom that resulted in the jury being sequestered. We're going to get to those incidents here in a minute. I declined to speak with her and asked how she got my name. She said she got it from another juror and said, so you declined to participate? I told her I was declining and that I would be letting the juror know of this because juror information is confidential and there should be no contact with me by Mr. Masterson's legal team. She held up a hand and started backing away and said, okay, thank you, and returned to her car and drove away. So I wanted to bring your attention that a juror has given Mr. Masterson's legal team my name and phone number without my permission. And as a result, I was contacted in person by a member of Mr. Masterson's legal team at my home on a Sunday afternoon. The next day, on September 17th, Judge Olmedo issued a ruling that the defense team would have to go through the court in order to have any further contact with jurors. In a letter to both sides, she explained the legal situation and that the defense lawyers may have broken the law. Since the discharge of the jury, I've been contacted by several jurors who've informed me of unwanted contact at their homes or work by members of the defense team and and to inquire how the defense team obtained their identifying information. A review of the jurors' complaints received by this court indicate that some jurors may have felt pressured by the defense team, that the jurors were not first advised that they had the absolute right not to discuss the case if they did not want to do so, and that the jurors did not want to be contacted by defense team and were troubled that they were approached at their homes. If true, such contact by the defense team may be violative of Code of Civil Procedure Section 206. As a result, the district attorney's office last week filed a motion calling for an evidentiary hearing to get the details on what the defense team has been up to. The people respectfully request that this court issue an order to show cause and conduct a full hearing pursuant to CCP Section 206 to consider the imposition of sanctions, if appropriate, for any unwanted, harassing, or otherwise improper conduct by members of the defense team who have reportedly been contacting trial jurors and alternate jurors subsequent to the return of the verdict in this case on May 31st, 2023. The timing is interesting because Masterson's appeal brief is due this week after appellate lawyer Cliff Gardner asked for and received an extension until November 22nd. Okay? That is in 3 days. That is on Friday. Also, we can't help thinking of a previous time that Danny Masterson's attorneys got into hot water with Judge Alameda. She ruled on June 7th, 2023, that Masterson's previous set of attorneys, Tom Messeru and Sharon Applebaum, had improperly leaked sensitive evidence in the case to Scientology's attorneys, who then used that evidence to demand an internal investigation by LAPD detectives assigned to the Masterson case. Also, repeatedly during our coverage of the Masterson prosecution, we found evidence of Scientology's involvement with his defense, sometimes to the detriment of his case. Was Scientology involved in the contact of jurors from the second trial? That's something we're interested to learn if Judge Alameda does hold an evidentiary hearing to get to the bottom of what the defense has been up to. All right. So this is a lot to unpack. So basically, Danny's defense team, or people representing Danny's defense team, have been going and seeking out the jurors to find out about these two incidents in the parking lot and the hallway. Now, some of them may have given up information, or they may have just told this other juror, hey, we got your information from another juror. Because as we know, Scientology just tells the truth all the time. Okay, why is all this significant? Okay, and why are we talking about Scientology hacking today? So let's go first here. Oh, I'm on the wrong page. So I looked up because I wanted to know, okay, after a trial is over, can opposing counsel get the contact info for the jury in California? No. After a trial is over, opposing counsel generally cannot access the contact information of the jurors. This is considered inappropriate and is prohibited by ethics rules, the ones that they're citing there that they want a hearing on now, meaning they cannot directly contact jurors without a compelling legal reason and, more importantly, court permission. And in this case, they didn't have the permission of any court since the judge ruled their contact info to be sealed, right? Okay. So here, right? A lawyer connected with the case shall not communicate directly or indirectly with anyone the lawyer knows to be a member of the veneer from which the jury will be selected for trial of that case. So you cannot, talk to people before they're even selected, okay? During trial, can't talk to the jury, cannot talk to the jury, okay? And then, so these rules are very, very, very strict, okay? And the ethics rule that they're citing, I don't have pulled up here. So where am I going with this? What's happening? So I want to show you a clip from Aaron and Reese. They were on the streets of Dunedin and they were interviewing people, and this very interesting man began to talk to them about an incident that happened to him a few years ago at a Church of Scientology. Let's listen in.
In attention over. I got my dog with me everywhere, so he's like eager to meet her. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to talk to one of these people. I just want the pamphlets. So somehow she conveys me to get into like the building, right? And I'm like, no, maybe there's more pamphlets. This will be funny. She's like, here, have a seat. And like,
So he's getting guided into a Scientology building, and he's thinking, I'm just gonna like fucking take more of their pamphlets. No big deal.
watch this video. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I don't have the time. Way too hungover. 3 eating something, and 4 I need water. Why do you need water? I don't know if I want your water. Something might be in that water. You know? It's just, well, just like, how is this? How is this a pamphlet? You know?
Yeah.
So I just start grabbing a few of them because like I think it's pretty funny, and I know it's people that do certain drugs. So like, hey man, Scientology says you need help. You know, you need to get a counter to tell you.
It rewound. I don't know what happened.
And you know, before I know it, there's a woman behind me.
Sorry about that. I totally rewound it. I don't know what happened. I opened my frosty beverage and it rewound it.
Eager to meet her. I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to talk to one of these people. I just want the pamphlets. So somehow she conveys me to get into like the building, right? And I'm like, you know, maybe there's more pamphlets. This will be funny. She's like, here, have a seat. And like,
so they're trying to give him water. They're trying to give him all kinds of stuff.
no, watch this video. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I don't have the time. Way too hungover. 3 I need something, and 4 I need water. Why do you need water? I don't know if I want your water. Something might be in
I don't know if anybody in Scientology ever putting something weird in the water, unless of course they're serving real water. Then I would watch out.
the water. You know, and she's like, well, just give me information. We'll send you some more information for your friend's sake and stuff. And I'm like, man, I have like 14 of these pamphlets. I certainly don't have a clue. You know, like my life's already put together. I own a business and stuff. So like, I'm not the guy these pamphlets are for, right? She's like, you never know, really, do you? So about like 2 weeks goes by. I give these pamphlets out to the bar. You know, a few friends. They thought it was hysterical.
Okay, so he got the pamphlets. He did not give them any of his personal information, and he's giving away these pamphlets that he obtained inside of a Church of Scientology as a joke to friends at a bar.
You know, none of them have blue for the record. And I get something in the mail from Scientology, my full
Now he's got something in the mail.
name on it.
Oh my God.
They have my full fucking name.
Oh my God. They look.
His full name.
Yeah.
I got blue snarf.
Wow.
So he says, I got blue snarfed. That is not a mispronunciation. This is an actual thing.
Wow.
I have my Bluetooth on, so they blue snarf, which is a hack they do in vector proximity. So everyone walking by there, they're data mining.
Does it pull the info from?
Okay, so let's talk about blue snarfing. Okay, so blue snarfing versus blue jacking. This has to do with the Bluetooth on your devices. And after you guys watch this stream, I suggest if you are anywhere near a Church of Scientology, okay, you turn off your Bluetooth. Just in good practice, have your Bluetooth off in public, unless you're rocking your headphones. Turn it off. Okay. So the main difference between blue snarfing and blue jacking is that blue snarfing is a more serious attack that involves stealing information, while blue jacking is usually a prank that involves sending unsolicited messages, right? So you've seen those articles about people on an airplane, and all of a sudden everybody's getting a picture of somebody's butt. And then, you know, like the captain comes on, if this continues, we're going to turn this whole plane around and we're not going to go to our destination, you know, kind of a thing, right? So blue snarfing is totally different. Blue snarfing, they get into your phone like reverses by the Bluetooth, and they take everything off your phone, your contacts, your address, your bank, everything. And they can do that with a device that's even smaller than your phone. Okay? They don't have to be enormous devices to do this in the year of 2024. So that's what happened to this gentleman. Let's go back to the video because he says a little bit more about that. Okay?
From your phone?
Yes.
Wow.
I had my phone number. I was getting texts. I never consented to any kind of information. I never did any kind of like, I'm going to fill in any blanks. I'm not going to fill anything out.
He never gave them any of his information, yet they're texting, mailing him with his full name and address.
My full name either. That's the thing. I was like, okay, this is a little weird. I know they have the, face identification technology from my phone number.
Wow.
It's a little bizarro. So.
Okay, so they got everything from this guy. Okay, now why am I bringing this up? Okay, so we're talking about this Danny Masterson case. Okay, and the jurors are being contacted. So let's go to when here. These are the 2 original lawyers that were sanctioned by Judge Alameda. Why? Okay. They leaked Okay. The court did give notice to the Marzi's law attorney, a different attorney, but also did give notice to Vicky Podboreski. She's going to come up later in the story. That's one of Scientology's attorneys, but made it clear the court was not compelling her to appear. Okay. As such, Ms. Podboreski and Church of Scientology International were afforded an opportunity to address the court, but they chose not to avail themselves of that opportunity. Okay. So basically, these two people, okay, Tom Messerow and Sharon Applebaum, they were sanctioned by Judge Alamedo, okay, because they leaked confidential trial and other information to Scientology's attorneys, represented by Vicky Podboreski. Okay, so they got a big slap on the wrist, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is the one today. Okay. Now, there were more hacking allegations during that trial. Okay. This is from April 28th, prior to Danny's conviction. Okay. On April 28th. So thinking back to yesterday's final hours of testimony for Jane Doe 3, we're still struck by a couple of things we wanted to mention. The email from that Sean Hawley showed her, of course, was the first truly strange and unanswered mystery of the retrial. We couldn't see the contents of the email from where we were sitting. Tony's like in the back when he is writing. Also, it's just me. But anyway, don't get me started on why he calls himself we. We couldn't see the contents of the email from where we were sitting, other than it started out, "Hey, Dan." Holly said that it was an email Jane Doe 3 had written in 2007 to Masterson, and that it was something to do with the woman he was seeing, actress Bijou Phillips. They got married in 2011. Holly wanted to read the entire email aloud for the record, but Judge Alamedo didn't allow it. So instead, Holly began asking Jane Doe 3 questions about it. And that's when Jane Doe 3 began reacting to it, saying, "I have an issue with this." She said that although some of it was familiar, "I don't think I wrote some of this. I don't understand. Some of this was not what I wrote. I would like an explanation." This is the witness, Jane Doe number 3. Had the email been altered? She pointed out, for example, that she never referred to Masterson as Dan and never called Phillips Beige. The implication seemed clear. This email had been hacked. From Holly's questions, we got the notion that the email was some kind of warning that Jane Doe 3 was supposedly sending Masterson about the woman he was about to marry. But again, we'll say that we could not read the contents of the email from where we're sitting. The exchange between Jane Doe 3 and Holly left an unsettling feeling in the courtroom. And then there was an interesting consequence for the defense. Judge Alamedo said the jury could decide on its own if the email had been altered or hacked. And the defense had now opened the door for the prosecution to discuss allegations of hacking that the victims in this case have been alleging in their parallel civil lawsuit. So Deputy DA Mueller, on redirect, asked Jane Doe 3 about that, and she began giving examples of her phone acting strange. And then she went into a disturbing example of harassment. "Yes, I got a message from account Operating Thetans and some numbers. They said, 'We have a list of your crimes and we're going to expose you.' I got a message from these perverts asking for anal sex. I got to talk to one of these people, and he sent me a link to a photo of a woman's bottom with my contact info saying I wanted anal sex." This seemed to have a lot of impact. Where did I go? This seemed to have a lot of impact, and certainly much more than the "Hey Dan" email, which the jury didn't really get to hear much about. In other words, this was a mistake that the defense was paying up pretty dearly for. And there was another effect, as in the last trial. It's when she's talking about the harassment Jane Doe 3 says is still ongoing that appears to upset her more than anything else. And then she had a panic attack. Okay, so we're learning now today that Danny Masterson's team has been now it's not good enough for them to harass the victims in this case. They have to go to the jurors who made a decision. Now, how did they get this juror's information? The judge ordered it sealed, which brings us back to our blue snarfing. So we know that there was some sort of hacking before. We know all of this stuff. Okay. The other things I'm going to bring up here. Let's see here. This is all from Tony's Substack. I just want to make a note of that. Okay. So let's go to this one. This is from May 1st. This is also May 1st. And which one is this from? Okay, this is May 2nd. So this is, yeah. We'll go May 1st, May 1st, May 2nd. Okay. So on May 1st, something very significant happened. Okay. So let's go ahead here. So, and this is from the morning break, Tony's coverage. Okay. So the day prior, Vicky Podboreski was in the eye line of the witnesses. Okay. And so it says here, Mueller, that's the DA. We were advised over the weekend with regard to testimony of Jane Doe 1 in the morning. Vicky Podboreski was directly behind me. Judge, I did notice her. The judge did notice her. And Jane Doe 1 said that it was in her line of sight and Vicky was making eye contact. She had made some kind of response to a statement by Jane Doe 1, and she rolled her eyes and flipped her hair. Okay. Jane Doe 1 felt uncomfortable and had trouble focusing. She said there was 1 or 2 times when she needed to pause. She knows who she is. And so the judge is like, what do you want? What is it you're requesting? That we be able to ask her if at any time during her testimony, there was someone who made her uncomfortable, so the jury understands that there are times when she may have felt it difficult responding for that reason. Judge says defense. So Cohen stands up. Number one, I think this court has been very observant of the audience and not shy about raising an issue. The court did not make any issue of Vicky Podboreski. Second, none of this was brought up on Friday, and it could have been, and to alleviate the issue. Number three, bringing it up now to the jury's attention that there's a lawyer for the church present, given everything the jury has already heard, leads to inflammatory testimony, speculation, and makes Podboreski a potential witness and asking her if she's some kind of threat to Jane Doe 1. If the government wants to revisit some parts of her testimony, I'm not even sure what they're alleging, that she was not credible or something, but now start speculating and do a presentation about witness intimidation. I think the prejudicial potential outweighs any probative content. The judge says, I did see Miss Podboreski. She was in the second or third row. With that said, I did not see her during the examination because Mr. Mueller was blocking my view of her. I noticed there were times when she leaned around Mr. Mueller, leaned around him to see, and I thought it was unusual. That I did see. With that said, it's my understanding that she has something to do with the representation of the Scientology organization. So with that said, the court will allow the people to ask this witness or any witness if there was a person in the audience that made them feel uncomfortable. She talks about how this is true in gang cases and others. If Scientology doesn't want their presence known, they shouldn't come. But it's an open courtroom and they can come if they want to. All right. Cohen asked to have a camera that points to the gallery to have its recording preserved. And Tony says, oh, we're on camera. They just don't show it to the public. Judge Alameda says she doesn't know if the cameras are being recorded, but she will look into it. Okay. This is a public courtroom. I have no availability to tell anyone not to come to the courtroom. Like, he can't pick up the phone. He can't have his assistant text people. Like, give me a break. We now hear for the first time that a member of the California bar was trying to intimidate the testimony of Jane Doe 1 because he's not going to refer to her as the lawyer for Scientology. She's a member of the California bar, guys. She's a bar member. Making an allegation that no one witnessed. He's criticizing Jane Doe, making an allegation that no one witnessed. Judge says, I'm going to stop you there. When I make a ruling, it's not necessarily subject to your further commentary. I love her so much. I understand the point you're making. They can bring it out and you can speak to it. It was the hair flip, not a gesture with a gun. I've heard about all kinds of gestures that make witnesses nervous. Was it meant to be intimidating? The fact that the witness says they saw something that makes them feel intimidated, that's why I'm saying she can bring it up. She now admonishes all of us, the Masterson group and the rest of the gallery, that she wants us to use poker faces. She's acknowledging that people can do things like roll their eyes or make faces without really realizing it. Poker faces, everyone out there, okay? Poker faces. Judge Alameda is also giving an admonition to everyone in the audience. You are to have no contact with witnesses, potential witnesses, lawyers in this case while it's going on. Okay, this is still an active case. She's got to tell people, not to do that. Okay. So let me turn this off here. That's part of day one. Let's go to, oh God, I keep clicking on the wrong screen. Okay. Now this is the lunch break report. Okay. From Tony from still May 1st of 2023. All right. So this was some interesting stuff that went down in the court. A lot of stuff happened that day. Okay. So Deputy DA Anson is making a request that a gentleman in the gallery wearing a cross be asked to move to a different part of the audience. He's in the straight eye line of the witness stand. Judge, the reason for the request? It is, I have not spoken to this individual. It has been brought to my attention that he may be here to be sure Scientology's religious rights are being protected. Judge asked the man who he is. He says, Reverend Skip LaRue. That's who he is. You're here as an observer? Correct. He says he's affiliated with the Religious Liberty Association in Washington, D.C., lives in San Diego, ordained by the Methodist Church. That's all facts. And your interest here as an observer with respect of religious liberty. He certainly has the right to be here. I don't know that he's affiliated with Scientology. He says, and he's he's in a courtroom. He wasn't sworn in, but he's telling the judge, I'm not affiliated. I'm not a member. Now, saying he's not a member is correct. The affiliation part, however, was a lie. Can I request the source of the info? This is the defense attorney. No, I don't think you're entitled to that information. My only concern is simply about the testimony and smooth operation of the courtroom. All right. So then Jane Doe 1 continues her testimony, even with that man still sitting there. Okay. Now, let's go to May 2nd. Okay. This is now Tuesday. All right. So okay, we're getting a description of suits. I don't really care about that. Let me scroll down to the pertinent part here. 1 second. Okay, so now, okay. Yesterday, Mr. Cohen asked for a mistrial based on something that happened in the hallway. Liz Martinez from the communications office has copies of some general rules that involve the media, and she's giving them out to the people in the audience because I think there might be questions about what is allowed. For anyone who's been following this case for a while, and they know I'm a baseball fan, let's say you're a diehard Dodgers fan, and a big series with the Giants is coming. Let's say you have tickets decked out in Dodgers gear, and at the stadium is equally split with Giants fans, which happens every Dodgers-Giants game. Anyway, just because it's the Dodger Stadium, you don't have the right to have the Giants fans kicked out. Now, at the snack bar, Dodgers and Giants fans in line, rough language used. You can't get that fan kicked out. Now, pitcher does badly while ex-wife behind the plate. The manager needs this information to determine what to do with the pitcher. Okay? This is a public courtroom open to the public. Anyone can attend as long as they do not disrupt or cause intimidation and does not violate any general rules of the court. If anyone does that, they will be excluded from the courtroom. She now asked Leah that Leah be brought in to give her an admonition about being a support person. But Leah's apparently not there. And so Jane Doe 1 goes to the witness stand. Now, Tony left something out of his reporting here because he has a reporting bias, and he also purposely won't mention Aaron Smith Levin's name. Okay. So this hallway incident, let's just see how Tony describes this himself. This is Tony's video.
That was a fun moment. But I'm going to say something now.
I'm going to speed him up.
Set up this next thing that I know is not going to be popular with all of you. Scientologists do have the right to come to this courtroom, sit quietly in the audience, and watch what's going on.
This is very true. It is a public courtroom. Any Scientologist can go there. Any person of any faith can go to the courtroom. It's a public courtroom. Okay.
Just like I have the right to watch what's going on. And yes, members of Scientology's Stand League have a right to come.
The Stand League. If you guys are not familiar, let's look them up here. This is their website. Scientologists taking action, STA, taking action against discrimination. So the N is for against. It's STAD. and the D is discriminate. They can't even make it right. This is the website where they, decide that they are reporters and they make these articles and the hate stuff. And here's their thing about Tony. Here's Mike. Here's Leah. That doesn't even look like Leah. It's such a bad picture. Yeah. It's just a bunch of propaganda bullshit. What is Stan? What do we do? We're a bunch of idiots. Yeah. And most of like their newsroom, these articles are written by, former RPFers and stuff like this. Yeah. Yes. They are the ones harassing Alex Barnes Ross. Correct. Apostate Alex. Correct. All right. So let's go back to Tony.
Come to court, sit in the audience, keep quiet, and watch what's going on. Now, another thing I want to say about Stan League. I've been saying this for years. The Stan League is Scientology's fake grassroots organization.
This is very true. They are fake grassroots organization.
And they spend a lot of time writing this garbage about Leah Remini and Mike Rinder and me. And apparently today they sent somebody, this Eva Mahoney, and she had with her this Methodist minister who's kind of the typical, clergy shill at Scientology.
Okay, so they sent a representative from Stand to sit with the Methodist minister, with Skip LaRue. Now, Tony hadn't figured out who Skip was yet.
Scientology scares up. And again, I want to point out, I really believe the best thing to do about the Stan League is just to ignore it totally. It has zero influence. Its social media feeds have literally tens of followers. The only time the Stan League ever gets any attention is because somebody, draws attention to it by...
So don't go to their website, guys. Don't give them any hits. But it's true. They really, honestly, the content they put out, no one cares. No one retweets it except for Stephanie Hutchison, when they're talking about somebody she doesn't like.
Hurricane. Way too windy. So I decided to come back here where I'm staying. We had a full day of testimony.
Oh, no.
Retrial. She found out that 4 of them have heard this disturbance, and then she quizzed them and decided, well, somebody felt differently, confronted them in the hallway, attention to it by criticizing them. I just think it's a mistake. Just ignore them. So there was a Stan League person in the audience. Who cares? She's not going to do anything. Well, somebody felt differently, confronted them in the hallway. Somebody
felt differently. That somebody was Aaron. And Tony's not actually telling the story correctly on this. He's not telling what had happened. Right. So he just says, it was
a big kind of a loud argument, and it was sent in front of jurors. So, defense attorney Philip Cohen called for a mistrial. Now, I know you think that's a joke. Oh, that he's always doing that. The defense is called for a mistrial. But it's serious because the judge had to stop things, bring the jury in. She found out that 4 of them have heard this disturbance, and then she quizzed them and decided, okay, they didn't really hear much, so we're just going to keep going.
Okay. So that's Tony's take on what had happened on that. Let's go to Aaron's take.
So that all happened right when court ended. Just for lunch break. I just went up to him and very friendly. I was like, did I hear you correctly when you told Sean Holly Scientology had sent you here? And he's like, yes, I was invited. And we were chit-chatting. He was being very open and honest. It was a very friendly conversation.
So earlier, Leah spotted this guy, okay, and was like, who are you? And he said who he was. And he said that he had been invited by Scientology to be there. Okay, so then that's when Leah told the DA, and the DA called for him to be removed from the courtroom, and that's why he got questioned by the judge, okay? So now Aaron goes up to him after and is like, hey, did I hear correctly that you were invited here by Scientology?
And we went out into the hallway and we continued the conversation out there. And I said, look, I'm just not sure I actually understand what you're saying. Like if one of the Jane Does testifies something negative about Scientology, you're supposed to report that back to someone. And he's like, no, we're not actually worried about any of the details of this case per se. We're not even worried. We're really more worried about the judge's rulings about what testimony she's allowed.
How fast do I have Aaron? I have him at my speed, 2x. I'll put him down at 1.5. Okay, so he's having an okay conversation, according to Aaron, with just the guy. Okay, let's listen to what happens next.
Said is going to be allowed entered into the case, and I was like, okay, I understand, but then what's the point of sitting here in the courtroom? Like you're listening to the testimony, and okay, so you don't like the fact that the judge has ruled a particular way, but she's already ruled that way. There's nothing you can do about that sitting in the courtroom. And based on how she's ruled, the witnesses and the victim, the Jane Does, are going to be testifying and saying what they want. Like what are
And that's all correct. There's nothing that this minister can do other than look like a very intimidating minister and stare down the witnesses, right?
are you supposed to do about it? I just don't understand. And we were in the middle of that conversation. By the way, it wasn't heated in any way, shape, or form. Okay. And then that mystery journalist that I mentioned a moment ago, the one that nobody knew who the hell she was, she walks up. And all I saw was her press badge. I didn't say what it said, what her press.
So she had a press badge on too. Okay. Apparently anybody can get a press badge.
As I said, I was like, oh, because I was taking Reverend Skibler at his word that this is just, you know, something being done under the banner of religious freedom, and it really had nothing to do with Danny, and it's got nothing to do with this case. He's like, I don't really care what happens in this case. I'm just, you know, religious freedom. I was actually kind of sympathizing with the guy.
Okay, so he thought this guy was legit.
And then this woman walks up, and I go, oh, and I figured, oh, you're like a religious freedom writer, and he's like the, you know, the guy that walks around with, you know, the costume and everything. And she goes, I'm a blogger with Stand League.
And then what did Aaron do? What'd you do, Aaron?
And my reaction was, and Leah, by this time, Leah was next to me. We were both talking.
Okay, so now Leah is also there talking to the minister guy, and this lady walks up, and what does Aaron do?
Talking to these guys at the same time. My reaction was, oh, Stand League. Oh, so you're with the Church of Scientology's hateful propaganda arm, and you lied to the judge.
So now he got loud when he's confronting the Stand lady, but also now the minister guy who he realized lied to the judge by saying he had no affiliation with Scientology.
I said, you effing lied to the judge. You're here with her. You guys are together. You're here with Stand League. I'm like, you are here with the propaganda arm of an effing cult.
So 2 F-bombs in the hallway, which he won't repeat on his video. But he said that in the hallway loudly and said that this man had lied to the judge in the hallway.
Like, and so that's and then by that time the bailiff had heard me raise my voice a little bit, and he heard me say the F word, and he was like, oh, sir, respect the court. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. And now what I didn't know, by the way, the jurors all get excused from the courtroom before everyone else gets excused from the courtroom so that they have less of a chance of hearing any conversations about the trial. Apparently what happened is some of the jurors were still in the elevator area waiting. The elevators take forever.
So some jurors were in the elevator area
waiting to get the elevator down. And some of the lawyers, both on the prosecution side and on the defense side, had noticed that there were some jurors who at least overheard this conversation where Scientology was mentioned and the word cult was mentioned. And so,
yes, that would be inflammatory for sure in a trial that involves a prominent Scientology member.
So wouldn't you know it, when court starts back up again at 1:30, the defense took up 40 minutes trying to get a mistrial ruled.
That's not actually funny. That could have, that incident, if Judge Alameda had been so inclined after her questioning, she could have ruled a mistrial. But after questioning those jurors, she determined it wasn't damaging or inflammatory or like, you know, skewing the jury in any way possible. So she didn't rule a mistrial. But it's very serious. It's not this. The reason why it's so serious, guys, is let's go back to today's article. Why, you know, why a year plus later is Danny Masterson's defense team still trying to find out about this conversation that this man had? Because on appeal with a different judge, maybe they do get the mistrial. Maybe they do. Because actions, guys, have consequences. But it goes back, though, to it's not just about Aaron today being a man butt, okay? How did they get these jurors information? Blue snarfing. Somebody from their team, this is hypothetical, it's allegedly, okay? Allegedly, I think that somebody in that gallery used a device or, you know, left and got in the elevator with these jurors and got close enough to them several times to get all their information. Because when would the jurors have their phones? When they were leaving the courtroom for meal breaks. And if you sit in the back and you get out of the courtroom, you know, in time to catch them in the elevators, that's close enough proximity. You could steal all that information in one elevator ride down. Okay. Yeah. So this gets very technical about like nerdy stuff about how it happens, but basically they can take it from anything. Any device that has Bluetooth attached to it. Okay. So, yeah, this is very serious, guys, but also please be aware, okay, if you decide to go out and, you know, protest or things like that, make sure your Bluetooth is off, okay? Or be aware that your personal information, you know, is going to be somehow intercepted or stolen from your device. There is no way to prevent that other than turning off your Bluetooth or just having your device completely off, right? But in your possession the whole time. All right. The other thing to know and to keep note of, okay, is that if you do go to a courtroom to participate in observing the court proceedings, you are now part of that case. And things that you do or say can and will be held against the participants of that case, whether you're intending for that to happen or not. Okay. So you have to maintain, you know, some professional behavior when you're in an environment like that. And if I were Mr. Smith-Levin, I know he received many donations and things like that, but that video is well over a year old now. It might behoove him maybe to not keep that on his channel, but I'm not a lawyer and I'm not in charge of him. And I'm sure Scientology has already downloaded it. I'm sure there's some facial recognition happening as well, Tim, but also, you know, blue snarfing is real. It's not like an imaginary thing. It's far more prevalent now than you would think. These are things you have to be cautious of, like when you're standing in Starbucks, you know, waiting for your coffee, just scroll in. Don't hook up to that Wi-Fi. Don't hook up to any Wi-Fi anywhere. Turn your Wi-Fi and your Bluetooth off when you're in public. Okay. You don't need either of those things to connect to the tower that you pay for, you know. Don't help him. Okay. I'm a good person. I help everybody. But here's the situation, guys. I want you to all understand this gigantic circle. Tony does a story today about juror intimidation. Okay. And they're intimidating them specifically about the incident that had to do with Aaron and Leah in the hallway. And how they get the jury information? Probably, most likely, most probably from blue snarfing, facial recognition, you know, and other surveillance that they were conducting on those people. But that would be the easiest way to get all of that information. So blue snarfing, I went over that. I'm going to pull that back up here just for you, Ellen. Okay. It is a way to reverse engineer someone's Bluetooth, okay, and enter their phone and take everything from it and steal all of, yeah. Honey, the flipper, I'm probably going to buy one of those just before they become illegal. But yeah, the flipper is the singularly most dangerous hacker's tool on the planet. And it is this, it's smaller than my wallet. The flipper is like this big, guys. It's like that big. And it can hack pretty much anything. Your garage door, your car, your television, whatever. Anything that has a radio frequency attached to it, Bluetooth, anything. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I have a second phone. This is my Sciento phone. And I have my personal phone. Yeah. Oh, no. I have two phones. I don't deal with Scientology on my regular phone. Are you crazy, Sauce? A Faraday cage? Yeah. Angry in Texas. Yes, that is solid info there. A Faraday cage, for those of you who don't know, is encasing your electronics in copper. That's why you'll see in movies sometimes they tell everybody to turn off their phones and then they put them in a microwave and then shut the door, because microwaves also have like a copper lining inside of them so that no data or like the phone itself can't be turned on to use the microphone or the camera without you knowing. to record its surroundings, right? So it is, yeah. We're in the year 3000, guys, when it comes to technology, okay? And to tell you this, as a helpful hint from somebody who used to do tech support and stuff like that. But in order to protect your personal identity, okay, the best way to do that, have zero online presence, delete everything now, delete. And keep your Bluetooth and your Wi-Fi off, and that would mean like literally not having social media of any kind, Facebook, anything, even the fun new ones, whatever that new one's called, the butterfly one I just joined, Blue Sky that looks like old-fashioned Twitter. It's actually nice. Yeah. So hacking is a real thing. Scientology, of course, is going to utilize that portion of technology because that goes along with the OSA files. Because these jurors, right, because they found Danny Masterson guilty, are now enemies of Scientology, and they may be attacked with any force necessary to destroy them. That's just, yeah. Yeah, there you go. At my work, you'll get fired for having a flipper. A lot of corporate places will not allow you to possess one of those inside of their buildings because they are such a threat to security. Okay. Yes, correct, Uncle Bubba. Thank you for that additional information I forgot to share. So when you're turning off your Bluetooth, this is an important thing from Uncle Bubba. So if you go to your phone and you just swipe down and you get to the Wi-Fi or the Bluetooth, you cannot turn it off here. You must go to your settings. Use your face to open it, Nora. Here we go. Go to your settings and turn it off here, because if you just turn it off in the little widget, it can get bumped back on just by being in proximity to other Bluetooths and stuff like that. That's just a temporary, like, boop. It's like a pause. It's not really an off. So then you would go to your Bluetooth, right? And you just turn that off. I don't need Bluetooth on this anyway. Now, it says here, and you'll get this scary message. AirDrop, AirPlay, Find My, location services, and Thread use Bluetooth, but they don't have to. Okay. You already have inside your phone the antenna. You have other ways for you to be located, right? If you're sharing your location with somebody or something like that via your phone, they will still be able to see you even without the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi on, because your location will ping off of the towers that you are near. Okay. So they will still be able to see you, right? The tech companies say if you leave your Bluetooth and your Wi-Fi on, that helps with location. And it does, because it can ping you to a smaller, minute area by using the other devices around you to find out where you are. All right. Let's go to your questions and comments here. And please do put comment or question in front so that I can find them, respond to them, bring them up. Here we go. All right. Yes, my hair is getting long, Caroline. Yes. Yeah, sorry about the bad camera work there at the beginning. JWs won't talk to me because I'm an apostate and an enemy of God. Yeah. I mean, it's like the same rules in the JW world that it is in the Scientology world, which is sad, but yeah. That's crazy sauce that they would contact the jury members at their homes or work. Any lawyer should know that. Yeah. I mean, this is in the ethics rules. It's not like a just for this case thing. This is in the ethics rules for lawyers, right? But also the judge sealed that information. So it makes it like doubly bad. Oh, you're very welcome, Stacy. Hopefully you're enjoying the replay. Scientology doesn't follow any rules. This is very true, Kelly. Yeah, he got big blue snarfed. That's a that's a good one. You're welcome. You're welcome, guys. I hope you guys take that. It's a pain in the butt to have to turn it off all the time. Like for me, I wear my Apple Watch. Does it have to be hooked up via Bluetooth? No, it does not, because this is the one with GPS and its own line. So it just makes it easier for the phone to talk to the watch, but it doesn't have to be hooked up. Now, when I have my headphones in, I have to have my Bluetooth on for those to work, So like now do I have to go back to analog headphones? I guess so. But see, you see how tricky it was that all of the phone companies got rid of the headphones I gave you that you plug in, and everybody's like, I love my Bluetooth headphones. And meanwhile, you're leaving yourself open to these things when you have those beautiful headphones in. So we might all reconsider just getting ones that plug in. Just saying. Just saying. Okay, Vernon. So JWs considered non-JWs as worldly people, unknowingly deceived by Satan. And cult fact, JWs considered non-JW. Okay, we got both of those in there. I can't wait to see the new garage. Sorry I was late, just getting over a migraine. Oh, hun. Sorry, Tim. I am also a migraine sufferer. I understand that. First time since yesterday morning. I'm well enough. Don't want to miss any more. Well, thank you, Tim. Thank you for being here. Thank you for this new adorable picture of your dog as well. Is there an app or something somewhere that's meant to protect your phone info from swiping or blue snarfing? Not that I know of, but also like I wouldn't trust any apps that are like, we can protect you. Like you can't. There's no like fortress you can put around your phone once your Bluetooth's on. You're in the world. Don't pay for something like that. It's BS. My older brother has an internet security as well as hands-on security business. Major companies hire him to break into their buildings or hack their internet. I've learned a lot. Yeah, Stephanie. I brought this up already, excuse me, but it bears repeating. At my work, you'll get fired for having a flipper. Yeah. Another new channel, Oh No Technology Nora, teaches Gen Xers like me how to exist in the year 2024. Yeah, we could. My wife said no more channels, so sorry, Tommy Knocker. Those ethics rules for lawyers were explicit. Yes. OSA busted again. Sick of these scums. I guess I'll decompress with a McFlurry. That sounds like a good treat. But I'm off sugar right now. I've greatly reduced my sugar. There is no sugar in this. I had a couple sticks of a Coke so I don't get a migraine. Yeah, I've taken my sugar and my coffee down from 2 tiny spoonfuls to 1 tiny spoonful. So I'm reducing the sugar, the salt, all the things, guys. I'm trying. Trying. Let's go to questions here. Why did I decide to change the garage? I felt it just needed to spruce up. I wanted to move the shelves around anyway. Because the formation that I had them in kind of, well, just like this was cool, but also it wasn't a great utilization of the space. So I'm probably going to space them out, maybe get a third one to throw in the mix. I have a lot of stuff to put up, guys. So yeah. And I had them too high. Like when I put them up, I thought, oh, the camera is going to be here. And it was always like too high. You guys couldn't see the stuff behind me. So it's kind of a waste. So I'm redesigning it so that I can push my desk is on wheels, which is awesome. Oh, sorry. I just shook my whole camera. So I can push the desk forward and then you guys can see the stuff behind me better. So it'll work out better, I think. Yeah. Lauren, do you think it's actually the defense team or Scientologists pretending to be so? I think that the Scientologists pretending to be the defense team are working for the defense team. That's what I think. They don't know who Aaron is? No, of course they do. Of course they do. Are we talking about Tony pretending he doesn't know who's somebody? Yeah. Tony hates Aaron and the feeling's mutual and whatever. But that's just stupid. That's not good reporting, Tony. That's not actual report. Somebody, because you don't want to mention his name. That's just fucking stupid. Like, do the reporting correctly. Can blue snarfing be reported to the police? You can. However, there's no laws on the books. The internet and technology is the wild, wild west right now, guys. Like worse than the wild, wild west. You have so many cyber scams that go on daily. Okay, here's a cyber scam to be looking out for, because during holiday times, these cyber scams ramp up like 500%. Okay, so let's say you're at work and you get a call from somebody claiming to be the FBI or Homeland Security or any major, whatever. Hang up the phone. Just hang it up. Don't do anything. Don't listen to them. No one, and I mean no one, from any law enforcement agency, unless you're part of an active investigation or you're an active witness or you've already been in contact with said law enforcement agent, and that's why they have your phone number. No, none. Law enforcement agencies are going to make their initial contact, their very first contact with you, via the telephone. It will not happen. Okay, so do not engage in conversation. But what they do is they call, people my mom's age, and sometimes people younger than that. And they, give them some very harrowing tale about how you are in legal trouble. And if you don't immediately send forth a specific amount of money to a specific location right now, you are going to be under arrest. We're coming to get you. Okay. They go so far as to guide people on the phone. Don't get off the phone with me. I'm going to talk you through this. Guide them to their bank, to the teller, to tell the teller, listen, I'm giving a loan for a car to my neighbor, so I need a cashier's check for 20 grand right now. And then they take that cashier's check, which is made out to no one, okay? Or they get you to make it out to a specific someone, and then they have you go to a Bitcoin ATM, which are weirdly located at gas stations, and then deposit that check. And now your money's gone forever because they can't trace that Bitcoin, and they can't trace the check because it was a cashier's check. And the bank will tell you very firmly, once you get a cashier's check, there is no takebacks. They will not cancel that check. That check is like handing someone a pile of cash. So yeah, you can go to the police and let them know, because I would advise doing that, because the more information that law enforcement gets about cyber attacks and all these things, the better they can get at locating the actual criminals who are perpetrating these attacks. And if that story sounded crazy, that actually happened to somebody I know. So it can happen to anybody. That's why I'm telling you, when you get a phone call from somebody claiming they're going to come get you, they're going to arrest you, you're a murder suspect, just say, okay, great. What time are you going to be here? I just make sure I have my bra on. Like literally. And if it turns out that a law enforcement agent does show up at your house, great. Then you can ask for their badge number and, ask if they have a warrant and all that other good stuff. And then call the actual police. Okay. So do not accept those calls. Do not take them. All right. That's all I wanted to say on that. If it's illegal, can't they be arrested? I hope I covered that. There aren't laws on the books yet about blue snarfing, but it is theft. So there you go. I've gotten over 40 spam calls today after watching Dan Walk's LA protest last night. I've never gotten that many spam calls in one day. Is this a coincidence or is it Scientology? I don't know. Also, it's the time of year, Kelly. Like I said, it's scamorama. I don't know how old you are, Kelly, but if you are first of all, the demographic that they're trying to hit, older women, single older women, okay, and women who, they do a lot of background on this stuff, right? They look at Facebooks, they look at all these things, right? To target it, but it is like they like to get that, especially unmarried or widowed women. Unfortunately, hang on one second, guys. I'll be right back. I'm back. All right. Just had to talk to the team before they're leaving here. Does rereading or listening to Tony's blog about Scientology lawyer get the ick again? Judge Alameda was a lawyer in Johnny Depp. Was she? I don't know about that, Stephanie. Let me look. No, Johnny Depp's lawyer was Camille Vasquez. Yeah, not Charlemagne Alameda. No. See? Two different ladies. Totally different lady. Both, attractive brunettes, but not the same lady. Yeah. Okay. Glad we cleared that up. Do visitors inside an org get their phones hacked? I guess it's possible. That's what happened to that man. Would VPNs be helpful? That only works when you're actually using it, right? A VPN doesn't like create a fortress around your phone, Beth. The VPN just protects you while you're surfing the net, right? But yeah, VPNs can help you. If you've got you have to turn off your Bluetooth and your Wi-Fi. But yes, VPNs are good for protecting your info as well. Yes. Why if you turn off your Wi-Fi, you won't be able to film? Are you a Google Fi user? Stop using that. You're making yourself vulnerable everywhere. Google Fi is trash. So if you are also, if you're reliant on Wi-Fi to use your phone, then yeah, that could get hacked, that can get blocked, all that kind of stuff. I would recommend switching carriers. Let me know. Yes, I have. I have heard from Miss Kelly. She is A-okay. She's A-okay. She's just resting. She's just taking a break. Guys, this is a lot. You emailed me yesterday. Can I check it? Okay, I'll look, Julie. Didn't Tony out the Jane Does? Yeah. Yes, he did. Have I ever tried CoffeeZilla? Oh, the YouTube? Yes, I like that YouTube. Is Scientology going to restart Incom? Or does it still exist? They sure have upgraded from the Telex days. I'm pretty sure Incom still exists. It's still, as far as I know, it still exists. So I'm sure, they're up to their same old tricks. Same old trick-a-doos. They got no new tricks, but it sounds like they may have finally come into, 2024 with this blue snarfing. Yeah, this is very accurate, Rox. And she's gonna, she'll be back when she's ready. Let me just check. The VPN will slow down the amount of data that you're able to use on it and stuff. I honestly, if you're at home and your personal network is secured properly with a good password and everything, and you're using, I would always recommend getting a mesh routing system that is not like, let's say you have Xfinity or Comcast or Cox or something like that. That's your cable provider. I have Ziply Fiber. Do not use the router they want to hand to you, okay? Because that can send your information anywhere. You don't know what the fuck that is. Buy yourself a Wi-Fi 6A or Wi-Fi 7 enabled mesh routing system. A mesh routing system is one that you plug into like where the internet comes out in your home. Okay, that gets plugged in. And then there are other pods you can put in your home that extend your Wi-Fi throughout your home. I have that. I have one here that my computer is plugged into in the garage because I'm in a garage, guys. And then We have one on the first floor. We have one in the penthouse, which is technically the 4th floor. You know, my wife has one in her office, so she can direct wire in, like I'm directly wired in here. You know, so that the signal is great in all areas of our house, right? But also, and again, this isn't sponsored, but I use the Eero system, EERO. Their app is wonderful. It marries into either Android or Apple seamlessly. But I can control it, you know, from all kinds of things, and I can turn off my kids' devices when they're on them too late. But yeah, get something that it has that kind of security enabled on it, because that's going to protect you really more than anything else when you're at home and stuff like that. A VPN, you're really going to want to use that, honestly, if you know, like people use VPNs because they want to watch, you know, Bird Box or something that's like, you know, British, but they're not in England, or they want to watch some content in another country, but it's not available here, like Australian stuff here or something like that, or vice versa. Like people in other countries use VPNs so they can get American content. Yeah. So, unless you're dealing, you know, secure the network you're using first. And then if you're using, you know, dealing in super sensitive stuff, then yeah, you know, use a VPN. But be hooked up to Wi-Fi in your home when you're doing that. Okay, guys, I'm getting very nerdy here. Your kid was convinced he needed Wi-Fi to make calls while he's out. Yeah, you don't. You don't need that. But like, if the reason why he wants Wi-Fi while he's out, maybe like if you guys have a smaller data plan, then, you know, and some apps require you to be on Wi-Fi if you're going to make calls, like WhatsApp, you know, and things like that. Because like this is a conversation I've had to have with many people, like Signal, WhatsApp, any of these things, right, that use your phone, but they don't dial from your dialer. So technically you're not like using your towers. If you're not on Wi-Fi, that phone call then becomes billed to your company, right? And this is what I used to have to tell people all the time, because they would get like a huge bill because they're here in America and they were calling their family back in their home, you know, were in the country that they came from. You know, back to like India, or England, or where was the other one? Pakistan. I had a lot of Pakistani people call in about this specifically. And they were really upset because their bill for like one phone call was like $600. And they're like, I made a WhatsApp call. And I was like, okay, there's no such thing as a WhatsApp call. And WhatsApp was actually sued by consumers because they used to advertise like, WhatsApp, you can call anybody for free around the world, and it's a WhatsApp call, and they used to call it that, right? But if your phone, you have your Wi-Fi on, okay, let's say hypothetical situation, and you call from America to another country on WhatsApp on that Wi-Fi connection, as long as that Wi-Fi connection remains stable, yes, that call will be free, okay? But let's say there's a blip in your Wi-Fi. It just dips, it goes off for a second, you know, because that happens all the time. The signal goes, whoop. Okay. During that, whoop, your phone automatically switches to the strongest signal it can pick up. And if your Wi-Fi dips and the stronger signal is the tower, it's going to hook up to the tower to continue that call. Okay. And then it's going to stay on that tower even if the Wi-Fi comes back up, because now it's hooked up to the tower, and you're going to get billed for all of that time. Now, some countries that you call to are like $3 a minute. Some are up to $15 a minute, depending on your carrier. Okay. And most carriers now don't negotiate with that stuff. So I tell people the only safe way to make WhatsApp, Signal, all these other thing calls is to get a old phone, okay, where you can still take the chip in and out of it. And you can still find phones like that. Those are the ones that are usually sold for free if you add a line to your account or something like that. You take the chip out of the phone, so the phone can only hook up to Wi-Fi. It has no way to hook up to a tower. And then you use that phone to make all those foreign calls via the Wi-Fi, because then if the Wi-Fi goes out, the call just goes away. It's gone. You have to call back. Okay. That's the only way 100% guaranteed that you will never get billed by your phone company when making a WhatsApp or Signal call. Okay. I don't have any updates on the girls. I will see what I can find out and let y'all know. I don't have any of those updates, but good question, Stacy. How do you live stream without Wi-Fi or Bluetooth on? So when your Wi-Fi and your Bluetooth are off, you're going to be hooked up to your tower, because I'm not using Wi-Fi when I'm out. I'm not hooked up to Scientology's Wi-Fi. The only thing I would be using that's Bluetooth, where I would have to leave my Bluetooth on, which is why I use Scientophone to do that filming, is because I plug in an external mic, and that uses Bluetooth to talk to the microphone. So if I don't have my Bluetooth on, I can't, give you guys the sound from that external microphone. But I can turn the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi off on this phone so that nothing gets, invaded, right? That kind of a thing. Scammers suck. I cannot count the number of times I've had some elder ex-military widower commenting on one of my Facebook posts wanting to be my friend. Like, dude, no. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're still living in a hotel and your phone goes to unsecured Wi-Fi every time I'm in it. I won't bank online. It's here, etc. I will only use PayPal or Amazon. Yeah. Yeah, Ellen, that's a good practice. You can just turn off the Wi-Fi if you want. But I mean, if you might not have good reception in your room, Oh no, Tazzy. Oh, I've had that twice. Just rest a lot, drink lots of fluids, and if you need the medicine, please get it. Please get it right away. Just scrolling through here, guys. Okay. Incom's primary purpose was to create SIR, but it does look like they've worked their way into present time. SIR is, oh shit, Dylan. Can you give me the definition of SIR? Basically, SIR was a directory that only really LRH comms, like, LRH communicators had access to, and you could search for any reference. You could search for any like word in all of Dianetics and Scientology and find the references associated with that. Let's see here. Yes, Penny as Karate was the chief judge in the circuit court in Fairfax County, Virginia. Yeah, yeah, that's the one that did the Depp case. Question, did Aaron think he was going to intimidate that guy or get info or what? Once again, I'm shocked at the carelessness. I have no idea. I have no idea why he was engaging in that conversation. He doesn't really explain it in that video either. He just says, he wanted to know why he was there. I don't know. Yeah, and that's a good one. The Tor browser is a good one. Hi, Abdazzle. Hello. Let's see here. Yes, Stacy, thank you. Please do give the like button, a little boop. Just making sure there's no other questions. I don't have an opinion on that because I didn't know that had happened, Bo. So I don't have an opinion. I mean, she can do whatever she wants. That's her jam. Clearly, she's still collaborating. She did that stream like 2 nights ago. That's pretty cool, Martha, that your brother. Yeah. Hey, you're pretty secure, hon. Oh, her stream from yesterday says something about that? Okay, I'll check it out. Hi, Liz Ferris. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm going to be back in about 15 minutes on Ono Merca to talk about some very interesting political things. If you guys want to talk politics, come see me over there. Until next time, guys, I will see you all on the flippity dippity. Thank you so much to the mods, to the members, and everybody who tuned in today. Click that link. Find me everywhere. We'll chat. It's fun. Or send me some money. I need it.